YouTube, I hope you're having a wonderful week and enjoying everything you're reading. I do apologise for the look of me. I'm disgusting. I have not been well. I suffer with migraines and I'm afraid it's the niggling migraines and it's been going on since Sunday. I have a niggling headache. I feel sick. I have to take a pill. I have to lay down. And it takes about a week for it to work out. I much prefer the big headache that I can just have a whole day out, feel absolutely rubbish and feel a bit woolly for the next day or so and get it over with. But this has just been going on. And I had a procedure at the doctor's the other day, so I'm feeling all ugh from that. But if I don't get this video done, I'm not going to get them done. I've read 2 books that I just really want to do reviews for, dedicated reviews for, and I've just had my birthday and I want to be able to show you all the lovely books I've got and talk about those. So if I don't get this done, it's never going to happen, so I've got to get it done. So today I'm talking about Supernova. So it's going to be a spoiler review. I just want to go right on into it, gush about this book, everything I love, all the tropes I love, all the characters I love. So if you haven't read this or you are halfway through the series, because this is the 3rd and final in the trilogy, please click off now and come back when you've finished. Or if you don't care and you just want to hear me gush over the top about Marissa Meyer's writing, because I love her writing. I love the Lunar Chronicles. I love this more. I absolutely love this. But then I like the X-Men, and this is so the X-Men. Everyone's got powers, all different powers, do different things, and I love it. So if you haven't read it, or you're planning on reading it, or you're halfway through and you don't want to be spoiled, please click away now, because I'm going to start gushing spoilers and just going over the top. Really am, because I love it. Love it, Marissa Meyer. I doubt you'll ever see this, but you're an absolute genius. I love the characters you built. And so obviously in the Renegades, we follow Nova and Adrian after a war. Basically, before Renegades, the first one, there's a war. There's prodigies who have got powers. They're persecuted by normal people. They're seen as basically like witches of the 1800s, and they're persecuted. We have a sect that's called the anarchists that rise up. They have their leader, Ace Anarchist, and they don't want to be persecuted. They want power. They want it all. Well, Ace does, but the people that follow him really just want a normal life. They want to be accepted. And then obviously in comes dun dun dun, riding on their white horses, the Renegades, and they put a stop to it and they take over power. And then we fast forward 10 years and we meet Nova, who is Ace Anarchist's niece, and she's anarchist basically. And in the last 10 years they've been reduced to living in subway tunnels like rats and not having a very good life. And she infiltrates the Renegades, meets Adrian, who is the son of one of the Renegades and adopted son of the 2 top guys. And they form this sweet friendship and into a romance. It's a real slow burn romance, and normally I don't care about romance, but damn am I shipping these 2. They were lovely. They were cute and sweet together, even if they were going through that whole am I, will I, why she, will she. It didn't bother me. Normally it does. Normally it annoys the hell out of me, but it was done nicely in this. I liked it. And obviously in the first one, Renegades, we find out that Ace isn't dead where they think he was at the end of the last one. In the middle one, we watched Nova try and get, which is arch enemies. Nova's trying to get Ace's helmet back, which her dad made, and then he gets captured and she's got the helmet but she hasn't got Ace. And then we start with this one and she's trying to get Ace back, trying to get into Cragmore prison, which is the prodigy's prison. And she gets captured. They think she's they realise she's Nightmare, and they throw her in prison. You see, this prison is like, they go hard on people with powers. They seem to think they should be held to a higher standard, which obviously they've got powers. They need to live by the rules as well and not use them for their own personal gain. But they are so persecuted. Anyone that isn't a renegade, if their powers aren't deemed good enough for the renegades, they're looked down upon by the renegades. And then they're obviously looked down upon by the normal people because they've got powers and people are jealous of them, but they're not the renegades, so they can't look up to them. So they are having to kind of live on the fringes of society, and they are persecuted by both sides. And you think, as much as the renegades in this, they are good, they're so good, they want so much for everybody, but they're like a toddler in a room full of hazards that sees a toy at the other end of the room, and that's all they can focus on. They focus at the end goal. They charge through. They don't see the shoes or the handbags or the other toys in the way that are going to trip them up. And that does make them nearly as bad as the anarchists that are just using their powers so bad because they want to. Because they're not looking at the great. Well, they're looking at the greater good, but they're not looking at what what they're working towards, and how it's affecting people the here and now. And obviously, when Nova gets captured as Nightmare and put into prison, she sees the prisons that they're in. And yes, I know they have to be a bit more careful because they've got powers, but they're treating them a lot worse. They're not getting any fair trial. They literally get captured and that's it. You're in prison and it's going to be life, or in Nova's case, death. And you're like, all right, yes, she obviously is Nightmare, but they don't know that for sure. They have one girl's word for it and a few circumstantial evidence, and they're going to put her to death because people are demanding it. And it's like, well, hang on. Yes, I know that she is guilty of this, and we know she's guilty of it, but they don't. And you're like, you've got to there's got to be some sort of jury system. It is for normal people. These are still normal people. Yes, they've got powers, but you can't just run ahead and be like, death to you, death to them. And you start to see the cracks in the renegades a lot more. You know that they're not all good. No one's all good. Life is humans are made up of pie sections. Basically, we determine how much of a percentage we have of selfishness, greed, good, bad, and all of that. We choose the percentages on our own little pie circle and that in our segments, but we are still made up of those. As much as anyone that likes to sit on their high horse and they're all great and that they do only do good, we still have those sections, and it's them finding out what they're doing, what they want, and how they're affecting other people. And also with the powers, sorry, going off another tangent. I'm going to go on tangents. You got to bear with me. I love this book, but there's so much I want to talk about because she does. It's quite a chunk of, but she does pack in so much of a punch. I find. I know I'm gushing, but I love it. I'm going to gush. The powers. I love the fact that it's the powers are from Stardust and it comes down, and it's to be part of something bigger. I would want to have the powers if it was Stardust, and the fact that the universe, we're part of something bigger than just our own planet. Because we scurry around on our own planet and we forget that there's a big universe out there. I know not all of us do, but we do. There's more out there, and to think that it's part of us is we are part of a bigger thing. I love that. I would love to go up into the stars. Anybody want to take me with them? Go to Mars, go and explore. I would be the first on any of the ships. I really would. I'd love that. And I like that we're part of a bigger thing. And I like Nova's dad's power to be able to see it and mold it into different things. And I love that he was able to make a star for Nova's bracelet that was going to put a stop to it. I would have liked to have heard a bit more of how he managed to get it inside Nova. I don't understand how he would have done that, and I would have liked a little bit more of that. But apart from that, I like that. And I also, about the whole learning that they're going too hard on prodigies and all that, and it's got to be all for one. Everyone, if you rob a bank or you steal pharmaceuticals, you should all be punished. Doesn't matter if you're a renegade or a prodigy, sorry, or a normal person. It all should be a balance, and they're learning that. And I loved at the end where Captain Cronium, when Nova first finds out what her uncle did and how it was him that sent the assassin after her family and all of that, Captain Cronium admitted that he was wrong. He was able, even though he was fighting so hard to keep hold of his power, he was willing to be like, step back and realise that he had done wrong, and then he was like, no, I am sorry. I liked seeing that. I liked to see that he was humble enough to admit that he was wrong, even though he was the top dog, everyone looked to him. He could let that guard down and admit that he was wrong and see the error of his ways and try to build a better future. And I liked that. I really enjoyed that. And the one thing that I know will probably annoy most people, because, well, not most people, but some people, it won't be for them, is the happy ever after trope where it all goes wrong. They all lose their powers because Max is there. He sucks the power out on top of the cathedral tower, and they lose their powers. And Adrian had to give up his powers and all of that. And they say some people think, oh, it's built up suspense and then it's all just going to work out. But I loved it. I loved the fact that Max was able to give everybody back his powers and also make everybody, well, not equal. I know there's always going to be a pyramid in the world. There's the top dogs and the bottom dogs, but he was able to give everybody powers to spread the stardust around and do that, and it was to give everybody back the powers they had lost. I love that. I love the fact that because I live for whatever I'm reading at the moment, not the all this in a couple of pages will it all not work out all right. I'm building up suspense and feeling sorry for these people, and then it's all going to be all right. I didn't need to feel that. I don't do that. I don't think to the future. I live for what I'm reading, and I'm like, oh my god, they lost the powers and Adrian. Oh my god, that power. I would have loved Adrian's power to be able to draw and make anything real. Oh my goodness, that'd be great. And I really felt for them. And then when Max was able to give them back their powers, I was just like, yay! I love the happy ever after trope. I love the fact that everything goes to hell. You're like, oh my goodness, oh my no, they've lost everything, it's terrible, and then they get it all back. I love that. I love a happy ever after. I love having the suspense, but also the fact that it all works out all right in the end. Because if I don't want real life, I don't read for real life. I want in real life, I'd watch the news and read newspapers. I want the happy ever after, and I love that. I love the fact that Max was able to give everybody their powers back and also give away his powers. He had the ultimate power, the power that Ace Anarchist would have loved, to drain everybody and be the ultimate god. He didn't want that. He just wanted to be a normal kid, and I love the fact that he was able to give away his powers and spread it all around to everybody else. And I love that. I love the fact that he could then go to be a normal kid, the only one that didn't have powers, and he was happy about it. And I like that. I like the happy ever after. I liked it. Just loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'd say the only thing I didn't like in this was Magpie. I didn't see the point of her. And the reveal in the middle of this book that she is Nova's little sister who she thought had died. They revealed that, and then, well, Marissa Myers revealed that, and then nothing. We don't hear anything about it until the epilogue at the back, and you're just like, oh no, I don't see the point of this. I read the epilogue and I didn't enjoy it. You know that she's going to more than likely revisit this world from Magpie's perspective. And I just didn't see the point of it. I didn't understand how it would happen. How would Magpie not know that Nova was her sister? And how did they not know she was not dead? She said that Captain Cronium came and saw and thought she was dead, and then they found out later that she wasn't. Well, Captain Cronium, everybody knew who these people were that lived in this house, who was dead. She knew that her parents had been murdered by an assassin and her sister had been kidnapped, but she didn't know the names. How does that work? How does it work that she knew all her backstory? Somebody was able to tell her all her backstory, that she was, her parents were assassinated, her bigger sister was kidnapped and never seen again, but she didn't know their names. I didn't see that. You got this reveal in the middle. You didn't hear anything else about it. I was like, oh my goodness, it's her sister. Then completely forgot about it. And then at the epilogue, I was like, oh my goodness, yeah, I forgot about that. And then it's just like, it was put in there just so that she could revisit the world. And I'm like, no, as much as I love these characters and I want to be with these characters all the time, I do not want to revisit it from a different point of view, because it always ruins it. She's wrapped it up beautifully. The story flowed for me beautifully. It was more character based. There was obviously the plot, but it was slightly heavier, only slightly heavier on the character base than the plot. And that was my jam. I loved that, loved it, but I don't want to revisit it because it wrapped up so well. I loved it so much. I do not want to revisit this world because it just gets ruined. There's so many authors doing it, and I'm just like, no, there was no point to Magpie. Didn't see the point of it. How did she not know who she was? No, that was the only part that ruined it. But when I reread these, which I will, I love them, I will just leave out the epilogue. I'll pretend that Magpie doesn't really exist. She's just a bit character and all of that. But yeah, that basically was my thoughts and feelings on, well, mainly Supernova, but the whole lot. Absolutely love them. If you stuck around this long to my jammering, jumping all over the place, not really linear chat about it, it's just that I love it so much. There's so much in my head about it that I'm kind of going, oh, and then I say something and then I'm like, oh my goodness, this is that, the tangent off to that one. So thank you if you stuck around for my entire tangent on this and you've listened to me rambling on. I appreciate it. Let me know what you thought of the Renegades or anything else that you've read that you absolutely love and different bits you liked. I'd love to have a discussion with you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week and the rest of what you're reading, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.